including you, Jay-Z.
Yes.
Yes.
You who say you rose from the gutter, but you have traded and bartered the souls of young men.
Y'all don't understand what the is going on? Y'all don't understand I just cracked the industry? Y'all don't understand I just cracked it? I just cracked this whole crack. It's over. I cracked the whole. It's over.
The diva Rihanna. She's from Barbados?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's Bayesian.
Okay, she's Bayesian. How did you come in contact with her? I mean, did you fly over there?
No, Jay Brown had actually bought me a song. She has a song right now that's I wouldn't say massive because of her rules when I first heard the song. And then, he kept going, Jay Brown, he kept being persistent. I was like, you know what, bring her by. And when she walks,
Really?
the 3 in the morning was when that contract got signed.
I did a lot of homework on you place that there are 2 ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
A random woman rides by Rihanna's house and up the place. Stop it, stay woke. It's giving another.
Also, Jay-Z burned Riri. Then Riri gave that to Chris Brown, which led to that argument. And that explains why Beyonce won't ever leave Jay-Z. She got that too.
So, it looks like what people once dismissed as noise around Roc Nation allegedly controlling narratives might actually be signaling something deeper. Because Tory Lanez's father suddenly stepped forward right as headlines broke about Rihanna's home being hit multiple times. And according to him, this situation doesn't feel random. It feels coordinated. He's not speaking as an outsider guessing from distance. He's speaking as someone who believes he has seen how power operates behind closed doors. And in his view, the same system that he claims buried his son is capable of far more than the public realizes. Now, that doesn't automatically make it true, but it explains why people are paying attention. Because psychologically, audiences respond when someone frames chaos as strategy. According to case timelines involving Megan Thee Stallion, the original incident was already layered with conflict, betrayal, and legal scrutiny, but what elevates this moment is how it's being reinterpreted, not just as a crime, but as part of a larger power struggle between individual artists and institutional influence. And that's where the story shifts from entertainment into something far more uncomfortable.
Get out of the car, right?
At that point, the argument wasn't even with me. Like, the argument was with the 2 people in the back seat. So I asked the driver to pull the car over, like, I'm done with this. And I should have stayed out of the car. Like, I should have not got back in the car. And they was like, Megan, just get back in the car. We almost there. Like, just get back in. So I get back in the car. It's like it's getting worse.
The arguing in the car.
The arguing in the car is getting worse, and I don't want to be in this car no more. Like, because I see it's getting crazy. So I get out the car, and it's like everything happens so fast. And all I hear is this man screaming. He said, dance. And he started shooting. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, he shot a couple of times.
He was charged with 3 felonies. But the reaction outside the courthouse told a far more explosive story. Because his father, Sunstar Peterson, wasn't just defending his son. He was challenging the legitimacy of the entire system, directly calling out Jay-Z and the structure surrounding Roc Nation, accusing them of influence that goes beyond contracts and into outcomes. Now, critics will argue this is emotional deflection from a guilty verdict, and legally, the conviction stands on its own record. But that counterpoint doesn't erase why this resonates so strongly, because based on public reaction patterns and digital sentiment shifts, people are increasingly skeptical of concentrated power, especially when entertainment, money, and influence intersect. And that's why this moment didn't just feel like a father grieving. It felt like someone declaring that what looks like justice might, in his eyes, be something far more calculated.
System of Roc Nation, including you, Jay-Z.
Yes.
Yes.
You who say you rose from the gutter, but you have traded and bartered the souls of young men.
Now, some of y'all might be wondering why someone like Jay-Z would even involve himself at this level in the first place. And on the surface, that skepticism is valid, because there's no confirmed evidence placing him directly inside this conflict. But here's where the narrative becomes strategic instead of emotional, because according to long-standing industry patterns and deal-making behavior, power isn't just about signing artists. It's about maintaining alignment. And when that alignment breaks, the response in escalating ways the public rarely sees. Word on the street claims there were tensions behind the scenes when Tory Lanez resisted certain moves. And while that remains unverified, what is clear is how quickly narratives can shift once an artist falls out of favor. Data from past media cycles shows that once perception turns, campaigns, organic or not, can accelerate reputational collapse. And that's why some people don't see coincidence here. They see strategy unfolding in real time.
People don't understand my music right now. The platforms got it in a way where when you look at my when you look at the homepage of these platforms, you can't even find my music. You can't find it nowhere. It's as if I never even dropped nothing. So in order for people to actually have my music chart anywhere, they got to go search for it and individually look for my name and all kind of stuff like that. And it's crazy because they brought it to #1. But I just asked, like, at some point, when does this not seem to be unfair to y'all? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like y'all are treating me as somebody that y'all think I am and not treating me as the person that I actually am. And that's not fair. Y'all don't know my life. Y'all know my music. My music is on the top of charts, which means there's a demand for my music. If there's a demand for my music, it's y'all job to curate that music to the people there's a demand from. That's all I ask, is treat me fair.
And just when it seemed like the legal battle had already reached its peak, things escalated into a different kind of war entirely. One centered around narrative control, as Megan Thee Stallion became involved in a dispute over claims that stories about her were being manipulated through external influence. Now, it's important to stay grounded here, because not all allegations translate into verified truth, and critics will argue that this is simply part of messy celebrity litigation. But the psychological impact is what matters, because when audiences believe perception itself can be engineered, trust begins to erode at a human level. This lands because people are already questioning what is real versus what is manufactured. And when money, media, and influence intersect, even suggestion of manipulation creates a sense that the playing field isn't level, which only intensifies the broader narrative of power versus authenticity.
Right here and say this, and this might come as a shock to many of you. But guess what? Both my son, myself, and others of our family have long decided that we are not going to hold any animosity against Megan Pete, aka Megan Thee Stallion. We forgave that girl long time ago, because again, we know that the principle of forgiveness is important in order to cleanse one's heart, to cleanse one's soul, and to not be, bound up with hatred and hatred, trust me, resentment, bitterness, those things can actually cause diseases of the bones. It has been proven. And let me stop right here and say this, and it can cause sickness in your body because you're holding on to something that is negative against the real life force in your life.
Now, I don't know whether timing played a role what happened next or if it was purely coincidental, but what followed shifted the tone of this entire situation into something much darker, because Tory Lanez being attacked in prison immediately triggered speculation that this wasn't random. Now, let's be clear and analytical for a moment, because correctional facility violence does happen without conspiracy, and data supports that reality. But perception doesn't operate on data alone. It operates on pattern recognition. And when people see multiple extreme incidents connected loosely through the same names, from Tory's situation to what happened around Rihanna, they begin constructing a narrative of intent, whether or not that intent is proven. That's how stories evolve from isolated events into something larger, something that feels like a system at work. And that's exactly why the situation has moved beyond facts into something far more emotionally and psychologically charged.
Bow down B over and over from the woman who preaches empowering women is a bit unsettling to some.
I just feel like it's kind of, it's hard to swallow. Just very hard to swallow, having seen her in a different light for so long.
I don't like it. I don't think it's her. I don't think it goes to what she represents.
I love Beyonce, but I honestly think that Jay-Z's putting thoughts in her head.
You're on a Pepsi can, for goodness sakes, to tell B words to bow down. And then you're saying girls run the world.
The reason I put out Bow Down is because I woke up, I went into the studio, I had a chant in my head. It was aggressive, it was angry. It wasn't the Beyonce that wakes up every morning. It was the Beyonce that was angry. It was the Beyonce that felt the need to defend herself. And if this song never comes out, okay, I said it. And I listened to it after I finished, and I said, this is hot. I'm gonna put it out. I'm not gonna sell it, I'm gonna just put it out. People like it, great. They don't, They don't. And I won't do it every day because that's not who I am. But I feel strong. And anyone that says, oh, that is disrespectful, just imagine a person that hates you. Imagine a person that doesn't believe in you. And look in the mirror and say, bow down. And I guarantee you feel gangster. So listen to that song from that point of view again if you didn't like it before.
This isn't even the first time tensions like this have surfaced within the same ecosystem. Because if you go back years, there were already whispers about imbalance and internal competition involving Rihanna and Beyoncé during key release periods. According to sales data and rollout timelines from that era, the contrast in promotion and execution raise questions about prioritization. And while business decisions can always be explained through strategy, perception again becomes the real battlefield. Some saw it as standard industry competition. Others saw it as selective support within a controlled structure, and that difference in interpretation is everything. Because once audiences believe that success is being directed rather than earned, the entire system begins to feel less authentic and more like a performance being managed from behind a curtain, which only reinforces a larger narrative that power doesn't just elevate artists, it chooses them.
Good audition. Yes. But before I met him, I was so nervous. I was shaking literally. But the moment I walked into the office, the atmosphere was so warm and welcoming.
And you had to sing a cappella for him?
Yes, I had to sing. I sang Fun to Replay. I sang another ballad from the album last time.
So then what did he say to you? He said something to you.
Oh yeah, he said, we don't sing songs here, we sing artists. And there was this little pause, and I was nervous. But then he said, and we're interested. And there was this sudden feel of relief.
But then he said something about a window and a door.
Oh, then he said, he said it one more.
I did a lot of homework on you, this lady.
He said, there are two ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
So you was like, where's the pen? Where's the paper? I'm signing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure working with Jay-Z, you've met Beyonce.
That's right.
How was it like meeting her?
I could not speak.
Really?
Really. That's someone I really looked up to for a long time. And it was after one of my showcases, and he was introducing me to everyone from the label. Then he finally said, okay, one more person. And there she was. And I could not speak.
And she gave you some advice.
Yeah, she did. She just told me, so, you know, when I get on stage, let loose, have fun, and be in control.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to let it go.
No.
Because you know she'd be like, what? You know how she does it. But we're going to be hooking up the whole audience with your CD.
Oh, thank you.
And now we're left in a moment where silence, movement, and speculation are all being read as signals. Because when Rihanna steps back while controversy rises, people don't just see distance, they see intention. And when voices like Tory Lanez father connect these moments together, audiences don't dismiss it, they analyze it. This resonates because trust in institutions is already fragile and based on shifting audience behavior. People are leaning more toward authenticity than authority. If this trend continues, the next phase of the industry won't be defined by charts or sales. It will be defined by credibility, by who feels real versus who feels constructed. And that shift is dangerous for any system built on controlled narratives. So the real question is no longer what happened in each isolated case, but whether people still believe the system telling them the story. And that's where things get uncomfortable.